with the current rosters almost all settled in the NALCS, I decided to do a different video than I've ever done before. But I've followed the LCS for a long time since season two. Well, it was an LCS back then, but I was watching the circuit in season two, and I started watching LCS since it started in season three. I'm doing NA only right now because I don't really watch EU as much. I don't know that much about the new players. So for my first place team, I think at the end of season predictions, I think number one will be TL. Pretty obvious choice. But the reason why is mostly because I think even if Jensen and Doublelift or Doublelift Core JJ or whatever, someone doesn't necessarily mesh well, just feel like a lot of the other teams have a higher chance of not meshing well. And the teams, they're like just raw power from Impact Smithy and Doublelift, which you already know are proven to be able to easily wreck NALCS. And so can Jensen. And so can Core JJ, supposedly. Like you'd think. He didn't do that great in NA, but he went to Korea and became a world champion. And now he's coming back as a support. So I really think the team will just pop off and do good. And then just smash, just like Spring and Summer last season. So they're my easy first place for the end of season prediction. So this is not including playoffs or anything like that. And then my number two is going to be Golden Guardians, which is a little interesting take. I just think a lot of the teams aren't going to mesh necessarily well, or I think since everyone's upgrading, some of the just having raw power on your team alone isn't going to necessarily win you a bunch of matches. I think it's going to come down to more to meshing and actual team play and resource management. I think Golden Guardians makes sense as a team. You have Hanser who can play. He's better on takes, in my opinion, but he can play bruisers and carries if necessary, and he plays it best when he has another threat like a Doublelift or Bjergsen who's also doing good in a game. And then you got Contracts, who's okay, but he's an NA jungler, which is really good. And comparing against the other NA junglers like Onda, Grig, Wiggly, Santorin, I think Contracts is like number two, number three out of that group. Last split, or at least in summer. So I think he'll be just fine for this team, and he won't have a garbage top and a garbage mid like he did last year. So he might actually have lanes that he can play around consistently. Froggen is their new mid laner. Love Froggen. I think he's solid. Echo Fox did him dirty. He's still challenger all the time. He likes North America, which is really good for an import European player. A lot of times they don't like NA. He loves NA culture, as he said in like interviews and stuff. So I think he's a good pickup. You compare him against some of the other mids. I think Jensen and Bjergsen and Crown. I don't even know if Crown's that good. And why is he going to Optic? But whatever, I'll get to that. I think he's at least like a top four mid or top five just on paper. And when they play, I think he'll be better than Bjergsen. I think Bjergsen's gonna fall off. I think you've already seen the slow dip ever since they kicked Doublelift and Biofrost off the team and Svenskeren. You've kind of seen the slow dip of Bjergsen's ability to impact a game and actually be a carry or a star. So I think Golden Guardians also you got definitely Ole, right? I think Deathly was pretty good last split. He's like a at least probably like a Wild Turtle level of consistent mechanics. He just doesn't have the veteran experience yet, but I think he could be better. And Ole is the type of support that didn't mesh with lane dominant supports that well, or lane dominant AD carries like Doublelift. But he worked well with AD carries that he could leave and go and roam. And I think that if him and Contracts can buddy up a lot, or him and Froggen and stuff like that, and he can just start doing Ole's roaming shit that he did in Immortals, I think that will help the team a lot. I don't think he'll play like he did on Team Liquid. I think he'll go back to his Immortal days. So I think this team, just at the end of the season, will get number two. Because I think a lot of teams are going to have problems, but I don't think this team will be second place. Uh, and then number three, I'm going to put Cloud9. Pretty solid team. The only thing they'd change is Jensen out for Niski. I've seen a little bit of Niski from just highlight reels and a couple of matches I watched in EU. He seems like the average EU mid, so he'd be better than most NA mids. But I don't know if he'll be. That's the thing. There's a lot of imports mids. So I don't think he'll be better than Jensen. Probably as good as Hui, at least better. Hui's not very good. I don't think he'll be better than Bjergsen or Froggen. He could be better than Bjergsen. It just matters how. This year, Bjergsen really needs to make a statement year for good or for bad, is what I think is going to happen. PoE, probably like the same. I don't know. PoE's been falling off. Crown's probably better than Niski, easy. Pole Belter, I would say it's better than Niski. At least consistency, being able to fit with teams. You know Pole Belter's good in NA. DeMonte, he's probably the same. Phoenix, better than Niski probably. So it's like a middle to bottom of the pack mid. But if you got Licorice, he seems like he's going to continue to be a good top lane. Top lane isn't switching to tanks, or at least it's not right now in the preseason. Still got Sneaky Zazel, fine bottom. Still got Sven. I think one of the underrated, most underrated junglers ever since he joined in TSM. He's pretty good. He's got multiple styles he can play. So I think they'll be an easy 3. Number 4, 100 Thieves. I like someday bang at Aphromu a lot. I think Onda has promise. I think Huhi was way better with Aphromu. And it kind of seems like it's like a Aphromu's behind the brain of Huhi, and he needs him cranking his gears to actually make big plays and not feed the whole game. But I just don't know if Huhi's going to be able to hold up. Mid lane stacked. I just went through all of them. It's stacked. I don't even know if Huhi's going to be able to hold it. At least he's a NA resident now, so that allows them to import Bang. So I think this team has a lot of star power, but I don't know if they'll necessarily mesh well in the beginning or what's the deal with Huhi, if he's going to be good or not. So I'll slot him in at 4. Number 5, I'm going to throw right after 102. We got Echo Fox. I think Echo Fox, it doesn't matter if they use Solo or Laurel. I think Solo is better. They might just swap around, try to figure out which one fits with the team better. But I think Rush Phoenix are pretty strong imports to port in. I think possibly the lane itself could just pop off like the 2v2 with Rush and Phoenix. Also, I think Apollo Hakuo is a solid bottom. That Rush, I think if you look at junglers, he has the chance to just become the best jungler in NA again. If he's able to play this super aggressive hyper style like he did back when he was playing with Tip. Because right now, if you look at the world's meta and you still look at the meta it's going into, it's still all aggressive, all majority lane focused. Like the first objective taken, like the first Barons and shit, you can just end the game right there. So I think he will be a pretty beast jungler. So I'm going to put Echo Fox at 5th. And for 6th, I'm going to throw TSM because I don't know too much about Broken Blade, but from what I've seen, he seems like he'll be at least average. Could be pretty good top laner. I'm actually more into the hype train on him. Grig, I think he got a lot of flame last split, but I don't think he was the main reason they were losing, but he wasn't a reason they were winning. I think they should have gotten Dardoch, but whatever. And then you got Bjergsen mid. Like I said earlier, I think Bjergsen's either going to pop off this year, or his career is just going to stay where it's at. And he's not going to the championship again in a long time unless he changes it up. I think Sven's still very good AD carry. And Smoothie's better than uh, Mithy. Yeah, Smoothie's way better than Mithy, at least in lane mechanics wise. I think that lane Sven and Smoothie could actually end up becoming like the rock TSM can hold on to get them into the 6th place seed and barely make it. I think FlyQuest is going to be right under them. Centauran, Pobelter, Wild Turtle, good players. I don't necessarily think this team has enough firepower to get into the playoffs, but they might be able to scout their way in, kind of like they did in the summer split, by just good team play and just out macroing and playing off of mistakes heavily and just having everyone on the same unit. Like when they're doing those crazy Nexus rushes and stuff, a lot of that is just down to everyone doing what the team wants right then. I don't think they're very good when it comes to raw power because Pole Belter's not really carried. Like this team's going to be mostly based if Hyper's good or not. And if Wild Turtle can get any sort of like carryness back into him and not just be a team fight ADC. And then you got Clutch at 8. I think Clutch. I think Huni is dumb for joining Clutch Gaming, or maybe no one wants him because he kind of just runs it down every playoffs. But Lyra, I don't think he's very good. He had that one moment envious and a little bit in beginning of Clutch. Not sold on him. Demonte, probably like the worst mid in the LCS right now. Piglet, bottom ADC, like he's mechanically good. Piglet plays his way, and he is someone who seems like flames the crap out of other people and doesn't work the greatest on a team environment. This team could have the possibility of popping off though if Piglet and Hoonie are gods or something, but I just don't see it happen. I think this team's going to crumble and never start. At ninth, we got CLG because Darshan hasn't been good in a long time. Wiggly, saw a couple games off him at the end of the summer split, but I just don't think he's gonna be like a Dardoch or some type of god mechanically, and I just don't feel like no matter what kind of shot calling role he'll bring, this team just mechanically kind of sucks compared to the rest. PoE's bottom tier mid. Stixay's okay. He's like middle of the pack. Firefrost, he's a good mechanical support, but it really seems like he takes someone like Doublelift away from him. He can't just lead the team and lead his own lane kind of thing. So I think they'll go to into ninth. I don't really think they upgraded that big with Huhi to PoE. Maybe slightly. Maybe. Wiggly and Rainover are probably both bad. And Darshan's gonna be still bad. So they're slitting ninth here. And then 10th I got Optic because we don't even know who their ADC is. I don't know why Crown's on this team. Meteos is a pretty good pickup on the offseason for jungle. Big, garbage support. Dokla, garbage top. 10th. And that's it.